you must remember that you live in a society that support a certain philosophy and a certain system. You being the color that you are, black, and then you're going against the grain, they're gonna get you.
What's up, y'all? Back again today with a very special video. So today I want to talk about the unfortunate passing of the rapper known as Nipsey Hussle. I'm gonna try not to make this video too long, but then again, you know how I get. I just start going crazy. So let's just try to dive right into it. So there's so many angles to this topic that I inevitably will miss some points, and there's still many facts coming out about his alleged killing and all this type of stuff, but I really want to just talk about some points that I think are really bothering me right now. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about Nipsey Hussle, I want to say the condolences to his family. I would say rest in peace, but I believe that language is powerful. So if we believe that life is eternal for the children of God, when our body dies, we don't rest. So therefore, I don't want him to rest. I do want peace. I do wish peace upon him, but I don't want him to rest. I want his spirit and his soul to live forever. So may your soul and your spirit live forever, Nipsey Hussle. First time I heard about Nipsey Hussle, I'm from Los Angeles, so he's a huge rapper in Los Angeles. I don't want to be on here with some fake love like, oh yeah, I knew all the Nipsey Hussle songs. I had the first album, the second album. I went to this concert. I'm not going to lie, I've never been to a concert. I only know a few songs, but I did respect his lyricism, and I did respect his intellectuality. That's the reason why I'm making this video, the intellectuality of the man known as Nipsey Hussle. Now, there are some interviews that I'm going to play for you, and I'm going to show you slightly what I'm talking about. But this video, of course, is for the people with the ears to hear and the eyes to see. This video isn't for everybody, but at the same time, I do want a lot of people to see it, because one of the things that bothers me about this whole thing that Nipsey Hussle just was recently killed, and if you don't know, Nipsey Hussle was killed on March 31st. He was shot and killed, shot 6 times allegedly, in front, and I have to say allegedly because all these things are reports, and again, language is important. I don't know for a fact what is going on, so I can just only speculate truly. So it's alleged that he was killed on March 31st, okay? He was shot 6 times, including 1 shot to the head in front of a store that he owned. So now let me take it in context for you guys so you can see, because you know I'm a visual learner. In school I got nothing but C's and stuff because I didn't like reading like just words. I like visuals. So that's why I love my channel. So imagine me. My name is Joshua. Imagine I just say, you know what? I got the money and I got the resources and I have a plan. I want to own this building, and I want to own this building, and I want to own that building. This is just to say where I grew up, right? So I go into this store, and then I ask them what it takes in order to be able to buy them out and use all my qualifications to be able to do the same for this store, and I do the same for that store right there, right? Now, these buildings and these particular companies no longer exist. Now this whole place is mine to do with what I want. I could just have abandoned buildings. I could turn it into a grocery store. I could turn it into a laundromat. I could turn it into an apartment complex. I could do whatever I want because I have the resources to do so. This is what Nipsey Hussle did for a community in Los Angeles, California. Now, when I tell you about this community in Los Angeles, California, there's a neighborhood called Crenshaw in which I grew up, and this is where Nipsey Hussle put this thing. We have to first preface this by saying that Nipsey Hussle was an admitted gang member of the California Crips, right? A Crip gang. So I'm not here to try to paint some perfect picture of this man like he didn't have certain things in his past or in his life that may not have contributed to his demise in some way. But follow me here. So again, I buy this place, I buy this place, and I buy this place. Now, what I can do and what Nipsey Hussle did was put a store here, put a barbershop here, put a restaurant here. Okay? Now, here, at the store, you know, let's just say an everyday needs store, you get your toiletries, you get, you know, like t-shirts, you could get, you know, cell phone chargers, you could get whatever the case, you know what I mean? Here I employ my brother, who can then use that money to provide for his family. I employ my best friend, who then can use that money to provide for his family. At this place, I employ my sister, who can use that money to provide for her family. I employ a childhood friend who could use that money to apply for it. And then I do the same place here. So now, in this scenario, I have 3 different places. I could likely have maybe up to 20 different employees in each place. That's possibly 60 different individuals who then use that currency and those resources to provide for themselves and their families. I've then provided working capital and working opportunities for 60 potentially underprivileged people. Now remember, this is what Nipsey Hussle did, right? He employed ex-felons, because remember, I told you he was a gang member, so many of his friends, as I told you, were gang members as well, ex-felons and convicted felons. So whereas corporate America may not have allowed them to work under certain conditions because of their criminal history, Nipsey Hussle, who owned these places, remember, he owned these places, he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't care about a criminal history. Furthermore, his workers are probably going to be even more loyal to him than someone he just finds off the streets in interviews, because we all know at an interview, we put on our best foot forward. Hey, I'm Josh. I've worked at here and here and here. You know how many times I've just put on my best foot at the interview, and then 6 months later I come into work, hair looking like this, like, what up? Come on, man. We know that. But if I had a childhood friend and I employed a childhood friend or my brother that came from the same womb as me, I know for a fact that he's going to have more loyalty. So again, why is this important? Because Nipsey Hussle did that in a section in Los Angeles, which was heavily gang infested, crime infested, drug infested, and he provided opportunities for Black and Latino men and women who may not have had those opportunities extended to them under normal circumstances. This is just one of the many reasons why it would be beneficial for him to die in a system that does not want to allow such opportunities to exist for Black and Latino people. So now follow me. I don't want to get too out of touch with reality. I want to stay down here because my mind is all over the place, but I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to freestyle this, okay? So now follow me now. We have a ex-Crip who has what we, in the Black community, let's not forget that in the Black community, we revere gang activity. We revere certain thug culture. So the term street cred or street credibility is a real thing. So when we understand that someone who came from a Crip background will have a certain amount of influence on an impoverished neighborhood who champions that idea, then we understand that a person like Nipsey Hussle already has influence off the fact that he was just a Crip. So the fact that Nipsey Hussle was a Crip and then he was a rapper, Grammy-nominated rapper, because I hear a lot of people say, well, what does it matter if just a normal, just underground, non-mainstream rapper just gets shot? No, this was a Grammy-nominated rapper who Jay-Z himself bought hundreds of copies of this man's album. So Jay-Z himself understood and appreciated this man's lyricism and supported this man. So this man wasn't underground by any means, just because he may not have been as a household name as, say, a Cardi B or something like that. We have to remember all the things that's going on with this system, okay? And I'm trying not to get too out of touch. Again, I'm trying to touch these points so you could all see how it comes together. Now, again, I own that place, I own that place, and I own this place. I am a former gang member and a rapper, so in my community, I now have respect on multiple levels, right? So now I'm a rapper, I'm a gang member, and I'm a business owner in my community that I grew up from. Okay? So now have a certain responsibility, and I have something that they're looking at. Okay, so now when I say they, who is they? They. I want to. You know, that's a really important question. Who is they? Who is the Illuminati when they say they? I want to put a name to the face right now. I want to say the United States government. That's who I want to say. I want to say that there's a program that I want you to look into. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to do your Google search right now and type in COINTELPRO. I want you to type in COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO. That stands for the Counterintelligence Program. What is the Counterintelligence Program? The Counterintelligence Program is a program that existed in the 60s that the United States government admitted to using illegal practices and procedures in order to infiltrate, disrupt, and dismantle black, powerful movements, organizations, and leaders. I'll say that real quick in layman's terms. So, like I said, you can Google this. The United States government and the Central Intelligence Agency admitted to using illegal tactics in order to infiltrate and disrupt and destroy black organizations and black leaders. This was less than 50 years ago. This happened on this land by this same government. So when someone tells me that it's a conspiracy theory to say that a black leader, a black person in general who owns businesses, has influence in his community and is extending opportunities to lower income individuals, when you're telling me that the government has no interest or there is no possibility that the government can intercede in such activities, I'm sorry, but not only are you just dumb as fuck, but you're incorrect. You're completely incorrect, sir, to say that it is a conspiracy theory that the counterintelligence program happened. You are an idiot to say that it is a conspiracy theory that Black Wall Street happened. When you look up Black Wall Street, what do we see? The same pattern. Not just a black person, not just a Nipsey Hussle, but hundreds of Nipsey Hussles got together in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 30s and 40s and did what? The same thing. They created their own revenue by buying their own businesses and shopping with each other in their own underprivileged communities. We created a thriving community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what happened? It was mysteriously burned down to the ground. We see this over and over, but yet somehow it's a conspiracy theory to say that government agents cannot be used to disrupt political leaders and organizations. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this because I'm tired of just sugarcoating and beating around the bush. The United States government, the government that we are a part of, including the governments around the world because they're all together, these organizations have a vested interest in keeping the status quo continual and perpetrating. They want to a perpetual cycle of violence and consumerism in order for us to keep things in balance. They don't want a gangbanger owning businesses. Are you crazy in America? The same place that hung children from their necks? Are you serious? See, y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin' out. No, y'all be wildin' because I was sitting back and I was like, I'm gonna just observe all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I saw that Nipsey Hussle got shot. I said, no, that don't make no sense. You mean to tell me a nigga that was gangbanging his entire life in the same community, he gets shot the moment he starts to reveal truths? And yes, we have to talk about the Dr. Sebi interview and the Dr. Sebi documentary. Yes, we have to talk about Lisa Left Eye Lopez and how she mysteriously died when she also tried to expose Dr. Sebi. Yes, we have to talk about these things. All of these things are important. So my question to the people saying, oh, you stupid conspiracy theorists, because here's the thing, now I see the video they put out of, oh yeah, they found that dude. They found the dude. What happened was, it was a gang member, a gangbanger who happened to walk up to Nipsey Hussle and shoot him because, you know, the gangbanger was a snitch and Nipsey Hussle told the snitch to get away. So the snitch left and then came back and shot him and jumped into a moving vehicle and then left at 3 p.m. Come on, man. I need you to look up Patsy. I need you to look up COINTELPRO. Look up these things, how it is a fact that the government employs people in order to carry out their agenda. What you think, an actual hitman is going to come and just shoot that man? And he's going to have a white supremacy shirt on? He's going to say, yeah, I work for the Illuminati, and shoot this man? Of course, you get a gangbanger to shoot a gangbanger and nobody blinks an eye, like the Joker said. But again, this video is for the people with the ears to hear and the eyes to see, because of course people, oh no, you know, they love typing. Y'all love typing, but y'all don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not saying my YouTube channel even matters, but I put my face out here. I put some work in. What are y'all doing commenting, talking about, oh, stupid conspiracy theories? How is it stupid? Okay, let's just say I'm wrong about all of this, even though you have to admit it makes sense. So let's just say I'm wrong about all of this, but there are proven instances in which the government, like the Tuskegee experiments, look up the Tuskegee experiments. I'm giving y'all homework. Look up the Tuskegee experiments, how the government admitted to poisoning black men, women, and children under the guise of giving them health care. So basically the government injected black people with syphilis and diseases that they knew were toxic to them and used them as guinea pigs and told them that it was free health care. This is the Tuskegee experiments. Look that up. But again, I'm stupid and I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist for saying that the government can have a hand in all of this. So why did I bring all of that up? Back to the point of Mr. Nipsey Hussle. I want your soul and your spirit to live on forever. So therefore, I cannot sit back idly while I understand and know these things. I know what happened. I do. Do I know who shot the person? No. But here's a quick thing though. I was thinking about this earlier in the story of Christ, right? And the story of the Bible of Christ, you know, we know what happened. Most people know what happened, okay? Judas betrayed him. The people said they want to crucify him. Pontius Pilate gave the final go-ahead, and then the Romans, you know, put the nails in him and put the spear in his side. But then I was thinking, who really killed Christ? Now peep game, this is what my last point. Who really killed Christ? It's the same question of, let's just say, who killed Nipsey Hussle? Now, of course, I'm not comparing the two, but just peep game. Who killed Christ? Was it the one who put the nails in his hand and the spear in his side? Was it because many people will say that it was the Romans that killed him, but many people will also say it was the Jews that killed him. It was his own people that said, crucify him. They called for his crucifixion. They didn't physically do it, but many people say they're responsible as well, right? Then we have Judas, who was one of his homeboys, one of his riders, who came up and gave him a kiss in order to show the Romans, hey, this is Jesus. So he was partly to blame as well, for sure. And then there was Pontius Pilate, who he had the power to say either, yes, we're going to crucify him, or no, he did nothing. But Pontius Pilate fell victim to what? Peer pressure and the ego, and he didn't use his authority in the right way because he knew Christ wasn't wrong. So really, like I said, who killed Christ? Or was it, like I said, just the Roman soldiers who were following orders and actually nailed him to the cross and put the thing in his side? Because what we're saying right now, by saying that a random gangbanger walked up to Nipsey Hussle and shot him, after already you're saying he's a snitch, which means he works for the police and the government agencies, and he's willing to do whatever for his freedom. So that means that you're saying that the Roman soldiers, the ones who actually just put the spear in his side and were just following orders, those are the ones that are responsible. No, in my opinion, there's more people responsible for this. And you won't see the end of it, because you know what you've done? You've woken up further the black people. You've woken up further the people who you've been oppressing, the very people that you're continuously trying to oppress. The Most High God, and it's not about Nipsey Hussle, the Most High God uses instances and vessels in order to continue his plan. You cannot stop the plan of the Most High. This is a message for you, Satan. You cannot stop the Most High's plan. Even when you quote unquote kill the body, you just continue the message. So with that being said, I knew that was an attack on me. I know when they killed Nipsey, that was an attack on me. Because I'm out here spreading my message. So I want to tell y'all, if I coincidentally end up hit by a car or some shit, like Nipsey said, you better ride for me. With that being said, I want y'all to vibrate higher.
He also owns Marathon Clothing Store, which not only sells his label, but lets his visitors use an app to enhance their shopping experience.
We playing a long game. We don't want the money to stop when we go. We don't want the money to stop when we go.
We don't want the money to stop when we go.
When we can't work no more, we want it to outlive us. We want it to be generational. Generational.
Generational.
And Next Door, a basic needs shop. They sell everything from prepaid cell phones to fragrances. And at both stores, Nipsey hired local artists.
It's Tanny.
Hi, Tanny. I'm Leah.
Partners and up-and-coming artists.
Okay.
By the end of this year, Nipsey will also open a barber shop.
And so we gonna call this Steve's, and it's named after my homeboy Fats. You know what I mean? This is a tattoo of him right here. He was murdered last year.
And a Creole seafood restaurant.
And everything. All the equipment was brand new.